Hey, how's it going everyone? I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video or give you guys an update. Installing the tent that I bought a while back. I'm actually going to be putting it on the truck today finally. I kind of need to get it out of my house. It's been sitting here for a few months, or I guess since July or August. And yeah, now it's time to get it on the truck and get it installed. So I have a buddy that's going to be coming over. It is a little bit heavy. It's about 170 pounds or so. So hopefully me and him can get it on the truck. If not, we're gonna need some more help. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So the first things first is the tent comes with these two rails, which they I guess they provide them a little bit longer than what they need to be, so they can go with various size tents. And so first these need to be trimmed to the width of the tent, and then we'll bolt them to the tent, to the bottom of the tent. And then they have some other adapters that slide within the rails, and those adapters will help to bolt the rails to the bed rack of the truck. So I'm not too sure if these rails are the longest ones and this is the widest tent, but when I went to line up the rail with the tent, it already looks like it's where it should be. They say to trim it about maybe 3/8 away from the edge of the tent or so. That's their recommendation. And but yeah, it looks like it's already to the length it needs to be, so I don't need to cut off anything. Just need to get these mounted to the bottom of the tent and on the truck. As I was saying before earlier, the rails will be mounted to the tent, and there's already some pre-drilled holes in the rails that are provided, and there's already a pre-drilled hole right here in the bottom into the tent, and that's where the bolt will be going through. So we put this together, the holes should be lining up, and it does pretty good. So what the plan is right now, that's the bed pad that goes into the tent behind me. But what the plan is to do right now is to get the tent on top of the rack, and then slide the rails underneath. The hardest part is getting the tent on the rack, and maybe I should do that now. So right now I was just second guessing what to do. What I was thinking about doing is getting the tent on the bed racks and then mounting the rails underneath the tent, slide them into position, open the tent up, and then I can get inside and put those bolts in. But I'm thinking now it might be easier to get those installed before we put it on the bed rack. So the tent does come with an installation manual and quite a bit of hardware, but it's nicely organized in this pouch that they give you with the tent. So we're gonna get started and probably putting these rails on with some of the bolts that are provided. So we got the tent mounted on the truck, and we're gonna skip the rails that it comes with and just mount it directly on the bed racks. I think it should be fine, and it'll also sit a little bit lower, about 1 inch lower if we don't use the rails that were provided. I think I take this bad boy for a little test drive right now. See how it goes.
Oh yeah, you gotta just give it a little wiggle. There it is. Wow, Rob, you gotta figure this out, dude. It's pretty high. There's a lap belt back there if you want to get it. No, it's pretty gangster.
Here we go, Rob Z.
Yeah, turn it on first,
Yeah.
Is it in gear?
Yeah.
And take it out of gear?
Yeah. It's got 2 neutrals.
I don't need the clutch in while it's a neutral, right?
Well, sometimes you do. Like, you don't need to push it in, but sometimes it won't start with it, but this one doesn't have a switch. down too.
First. Like I was saying earlier, the rails provided, which go from across from each bed rack, I'm not gonna put them on. I don't see the need for them when I can just put them directly on the bed rack. The tent will also sit about 1 inch lower, and these rails are wider than the rails. The rails on the bed rack are wider than the rails provided with the tent. The only thing, I won't be able to use the pre-drilled holes that are already on the tent because they don't line up with the bed rack. So I'll go ahead and have to drill about 4 new holes for each rail so we can get it bolted down and put some washers on there to distribute the load. But other than that, I think it'll be fine. So now we just got to drill those holes and get it bolted on. So I got the ladder, I got the rooftop tent extended. I'm going to try to get the ladder on right now so I can get on the inside and drill those holes that I need to mount it to the bed racks. So here's the ladder. I got a couple of these mounts or attachments that will bolt right up in here, and then I could bolt these to the ladder. That's what I'm doing right now. So I got the brackets mounted on for the ladder. Now just to get the ladder attached, then I can get on the inside and start bolting this tent to the bed rack. Alright, so I got the tent opened up in the shop, and gonna go inside and start drilling some holes, get this thing bolted down. So as I said earlier, we're not going to be using these rails here that came with the rooftop tent. I went ahead and just put the tent straight up on the bed racks. I thought it would be better that way. And also the tent will sit a little bit lower, about an inch lower, without the rails. So what I did to mount it is the bed rack already had 2 slots in it to use for whatever you're mounting to the bed racks. So what I ended up doing is drilling 2 additional holes, or actually 8 new holes into the bottom of the bed, into the bottom of the rooftop tent. And these holes go right into the slots. And I put the bolts at each end of the slot to keep the tent from shifting from side to side. And what I'm going to be using, these, I guess, brackets came with the rooftop tent. I'm going to be using them as washers. I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to be placing each half right here as a washer for each bolt. Alright, so got all the bolts bolted up, got all 8 of them with those makeshift washers that were given with the setup. And here's just a little look of inside the tent. It comes with a mattress. This one also does have a light and USB that you can hook up to a battery or something, but yeah, this is gonna be it for now.